Hello, my name is Jessica Dickinson, and today I'm going to be correcting my essay errors. I'm working on my comma splices, which is when my sentences turned into a run-on versus just an independent clause itself. The name of my presentation is Grammar Errors and Corrections. I do have my audience, and in my audience today, I have my dad and my husband. So they'll be helping me out with my quiz and any feedbacks or any questions that they may have today. My presentation today is over grammar, errors, and corrections. So today we're going to be talking about comma splices. The definition is when two independent clauses are joined with no comma and no conjunction. This is classified as a comma splice. In some cases, this error is considered also as a run-on sentence. It is a common mistake, which most people don't realize that it is actually a common mistake that many people make when they're doing their essays. What does it actually look like? So I'm going to show you guys a few examples of what it looks like. I have about 3 examples just to explain what we're looking at so you know the difference between an actual comma splice and a different kind of grammatical issue. So example 1, due to distracted driving, your first offense is still light. You were first offered to pay a fine ranging from $99 and up. So in my first example, unfortunately, it was a run-on sentence because it just kept going without any kind of way to break it up. So the splices, it occurred between light and you. So you definitely need to break up that comma splice to avoid having any run-on sentences. So it was actually changed to, due to distracted driving, your first offense is still light, comma, you were first offered to pay a fine ranging from $99 and up. So that would be the correct way to do it versus to do it first as the error, which is, like I said, a very easy thing to do. Okay, so example 2, I'll read the one that's wrong first, and then we'll read the one that's correct. So the first one is distracted driving is not just texting while driving. It also includes talking on the phone while driving as well, GPS usage, eating, makeup, and etc. So that's incorrect. What we want to say is distracted driving is not just texting while driving, period, to actually end that so it doesn't turn into a long run-on thought that kind of loses your interest. So period, it also includes talking on the phone while driving as well, It also includes talking on the phone while driving as well as GPS usage, eating, putting on makeup, etc. So that would be the correct example of how to change that into something that is, from something that was incorrect to something that is the correct way to say it. Example 3, when an individual allows, this is kind of a long one, when an individual allows negative emotions to take over, they too become a danger on the road. They are now distracted drivers that cannot clearly make rational choices to safely maneuver their vehicle on the road. So that's actually wrong, and I'll point out what's actually wrong about it. I did put a lot of they, considering just, talking or just meaning someone or just a group of people, which really I should have put he or she to actually make it clear about who I was actually referring to. So the correct way to do that is to actually add in things like he or she to break it up, and also you want to add in, instead of just the run-on to make it a really long statement, you also want to cut that off. So instead it would be when an individual allows negative emotions to take over, he or she too becomes a danger on the road. He or she is now a distracted driver who cannot clearly make rational choices to safely maneuver his or her vehicle on the road. Okay, so you do have ways to prevent a comma splice. What you can do is you can add a conjunction, which is just putting something in the middle of it. If you want to add a comma, You want to add a period. You want to add something that cuts off that run-on sentence. 2, you can change the comma to a semicolon, still something to break it up so it's not just a run-on sentence. So it doesn't just go on and on and on and on. Also, you can change each independent clause into its own sentence. So you want to have independent ideas versus a one big independent statement. So we're going to do a little quiz just to see about what you guys learned today about comma splices. So we're going to have about 3 different questions that I'm going to ask you, okay? Okay. So number 1, is a comma splice common?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yes, that is true. A comma splice is common because most times when you are doing an essay or something like that, you're moving so fast that, I mean, you're scanning, but you're not actually realizing that sometimes you can move on and it'll be a run-on sentence. Or it could be something that's combined without thinking, basically, or something that you can easily miss, just a simple human error. 2, how can you fix this error?
By adding punctuation and separated thoughts through conjunction.
Okay, that's right. Yes, you can add a conjunction. You can split up the independent sentences just to make them their own independent clause. 3, by adding a semicolon, can you fix a comma splice?
Yes.
Yes, because of course, that's just like adding a conjunction of making it its own independent sentence. It's splitting it up. So in conclusion for today, this is just letting you guys know that any grammatical error can definitely be corrected. It just takes time and patience and also going through to see what was an error and what needs to be fixed. It's definitely okay to make a common mistake if it is corrected. You do have books and manuals that you can go back to refer to check back to reference to make sure if it's okay. Thank you.